Welcome to the CBD Ed Show with Edward Chaney, the founder and CEO of Canafil, a manufacturer of CBD-infused products for human and pet consumption. In this program, we will discuss the uses of CBD and other methods for alternatives and complements to conventional medical treatment. Now, here's your host, Ed Chaney.
Welcome to the CBD Ed Show. I'm your host, Ed Chaney, along with beautiful Kimberly Rose.
Thank you, Ed. Hello, everyone.
You know what? We're really trying to keep a rhythm with developing these shows, and it's tough to do if we're, not in the building where they produce them, because we had a scheduled time to be there. Yes. If we were late, that was a big problem. It was a half an hour drive, and that was with good traffic. So we always had a schedule that somebody else was laying out. Once we moved this into, hey, we could do the show on our own. All right. So, but it's fun buying all the tech. But anyway, once we got to that place, and it was like, want to do a show on Friday? Maybe.
Well, yeah, but also life, it can easily get in the way, especially by Friday. I don't know. Monday, you're like, oh my God, we got to work. Yeah. We got to get all the stuff done. But by Friday, you're like, hi.
I know.
What are you doing today?
We should probably tell you why we choose Friday. We choose Friday because it's our calmest day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's sometimes spillover for the week, but the reality is her and I are much more aligned with each other on the personal side. Where during the middle of the week or even the beginning of the week, we seem to be very business minded, very business related. So, what we do at this show is not only for our community, but it's for us too. It really gives us great purpose. We love sharing our health journey, and we're so capable. We have so much access to all the critical trials and studies that are out there. And, we've already paid for memberships to be able to access them. And so we're in the best spot possible to be able to share.
On Friday.
On Fridays,
and
what's going on.
We try and do before we start enjoying our weekend.
Yeah, we do that too.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let's get started on today's show, which we will bring to light some of the new studies. Since the last time we've talked, maybe it's been almost a year now since we've talked about new studies. So, and you can imagine after the release of CBD from the marijuana plant in 2018's Farm Bill, and even though they released it there was still another year and a half or two where they struggled, and then states took almost 4 years for it to even go, oh, it is separate now. So the legal issues that were stopping clinical trials have been released finally.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. And the first thing I want to share is, I got a half a dozen clinical trials that are going on, and I thought the audience would be, it would be favorable to share what those were.
Yeah.
So let's just go over these clinical trials real quick. So the first one we have is a trial for PTSD. So that's post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a mental health condition triggered by experiencing or witnessing traumatic events. This trial explores whether CBD can make trauma therapy more effective and tolerable. Okay.
Yeah, I just did an email on this. I thought it was fascinating how much they have learned in the last 5 years on how much CBD can help with PTSD.
And I've been witness to many studies, even over the last 8-9 years, it being considered and used for PTSD. I think the first thing was the military had to get over it, and they got over it quicker than government got over it. Anyway, let's get going. Under each of these, I gave you a few, what it is and why it matters. So the clinical trial testing for CBD can enhance prolonged exposure therapy. So those suffering with PTSD, instead of having short-term, we can have long-term therapy because of the safety profile of CBD. Why does this matter? Because offering non-intoxicating, side effect friendly and free supports traditional trauma therapy.
Yeah, okay. I think that's the big thing, right? That maybe they hesitated a little bit in the beginning, is that is this going to be not good? Is there going to be a side effect? Is there going to be a problem?
Psychoactive one.
Yeah.
Right? Or am I going to put these guys in a worse spot than they truly were already? So this very promising outcome. Let's go to our second one, HIV and cognition. HIV can affect brain functions over time. And this study looks at whether CBD might help people with HIV think more clearly and make better decisions.
Okay. See, I didn't know this one. So that's great.
Yeah. So they're studying on how CBD and cannabis use influence decision-making and cognitive skills and risk in people living with HIV. And this matters because could This shed light on how CBD impacts brain function and risk behaviors in this high risk group.
Yeah, I
Right.
had no idea that I guess I really don't, honestly, I'm gonna say I don't know a lot about it, HIV.
Well, then let's continue and jump to another one
Yeah.
that's a little bit further down my list, but it's HIV related brain inflammation. Now, listen, I had to look that one up because I was unaware, but apparently this is a common symptom of those who have HIV. And they're probably very aware of this happening. HIV can cause inflammation in the brain, leading to mood or memory issues. So, researchers are testing if CBD and THC can reduce inflammation. Already know that that's been shown, and improve gut health along with it. All right. So, um, and what they've been testing are individuals and combined effects of CBD and THC. And for the gut, it's the microbiome health
Yeah.
is in question for those who have HIV.
Yeah. I think the exciting thing is now we're actually having studies done on humans.
Yes. So that was,
So what, our
and they,
first 3 years, we were like, and that was a wrap.
you see how excited we're getting? I mean, it's taken so long to get to that place.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, after you guys hear this show today, you'll be like, yeah, it really doesn't matter. They can't stop the train now.
No,
They really can't.
once they go into, human trials,
Yeah.
and again, there are no side effects, no issues.
And wait, yeah.
Here we go.
And wait till you hear some of these. They're crazy. I haven't shared them with her yet because, I was getting pretty excited and I did want to practice a little bit before we jumped on. Hey, how about early psychosis? A condition where a person starts to lose touch with reality, often first signs of serious mental illness. So this trial tests if CBD can help calm symptoms before they escalate. Now, the goal was to test whether CBD can safely support patients in early stages of psychosis as an add-on treatment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Now, and again, I think it matters also about long-term therapy as well. I just kind of plugging that in, but it seemed obvious.
Yeah. I think talk therapy, and, medication therapy also with CBD, it's almost like a natural way to go. You can just use your CBD on the side. If you need to also medicate, it's okay.
Yeah.
And your talk therapy. For me, CBD and my talk therapy, I thought it really helped significantly for me to calm down and have a real meaningful session.
Yes. Now, there is another thing here to consider too, and we'll be able to address it just a little bit further into the show as well, is remember those who are dealing with mental illnesses are often treated with medications that are affected by CBD, and often big warnings about be very careful with CBD and those type of medications because the effects could alter, either increase or decrease your situation. And if your situation was one of psychotic nature, you could put yourself in a very serious spot. It's interesting they're now doing this clinical study because they believe they can control that.
Mm-hmm.
Control it either by blood work or by deciding which pharmaceutical for the treatment of mental disorders to use and stuff like that. I thought that was extremely cool. And again, you'll hear it on other studies. All right, let's keep going here.
Uh-oh.
I know. Let's see. Alexithymia. Some people, especially those with chronic illness, struggle to recognize or express emotions. That's what this is. It's considered
Emotional.
an emotional blindness disorder.
Okay.
All right. This study is here to see if CD can improve emotional awareness in people also with HIV.
Mm.
So I'm glad to see that. So purpose investigating. So why this matter is could improve mental health outcomes in groups still dealing with chronic health and social challenges. So they'll start it in the HIV community, and upon positive results, they'll probably move over to other places where social distresses and challenges are in play.
Yes. Do you think there's still a social stigma to HIV?
Yes, it appears that there are, and it appears like the general public has become either relaxed or immune to it.
Oh, okay.
So good to see that it's, yeah, exactly. How about anorexia? So meal-related anxiety, a serious eating disorder often paired with intense anxiety around food. This is one of the first studies using CBD to help calm that anxiety during meals. Now, insight this could open doors for new treatments to other eating disorders. So I love it. Love the idea.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I just automatically went with my father-in-law. he's having a real struggle with food after his chemotherapy sessions and his radiation. And he's just like, I just don't have appetite or nothing tastes good. So I started him on CBD gummies just to see if he could, just have a better relationship with food. And he says yes. He says it helps me. I don't want to say I get the munchies because he doesn't really, it's only CBD, but he says, I honestly, I think I'm getting my taste buds back.
God, that's so good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome to hear. Okay, my last one, and this will also move into our first review, clinical trial or clinical study review, autism and with severe behaviors. I'll say that again more clearly. Autism with severe behaviors. Some children with autism have extreme behavioral, like aggression and self-harm. This trial is testing if CBD can safely help manage those symptoms. Now, let me share another thing of clarity. These 7 trials we just shared are all currently going on. Okay? I don't have conclusions on any of them yet, and I am happy to update as I get them. Let's move into our first review of clinical something, right? So how about CBD improves behavior of kids with autism? Now, this study is doing it with children as young as 5. So I think the participants are from ages 5 to 21. This is a fairly recently published study, April 8th of this year. It was actually posted in the New York Post. The original study, Cannabis Extracts Can Improve Behavior in Children and Teens with Autism. This is coming by the European Psychiatric Association. Okay, so there were 276 participants, ages 5 to 21. They were given orally administered CBD cannabis that included THC at a ratio of 9:1. So that would be considered full spectrum CBD. And the dosage of CBD was 1 milligram of CBD per kilogram per day. So if somebody was 100 pounds, that would be 40 milligrams of CBD per day. Full spectrum CBD.
Okay.
And they even went up to 10 milligrams per day. So that's 450 milligrams of full spectrum CBD per day to children ranging between 5 and 21.
Wow.
Good. I know. I really wanted to kind of put that out. Again, this was a published study, peer reviewed, done the way study. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. All right. The team found that CBD cannabis extract, which is full spectrum, improved participants' social responsiveness, reduced disruptive behaviors, eased anxieties, and enhanced sleep quality. Crucially, CBD didn't cause more adverse events. I'll tell you what that means. It didn't cause any side effects.
Right.
Okay? Compared to a placebo, which means placebo was nothing. So that means placebo didn't do anything, neither did the CBD. And then they state, suggesting it has a favorable safety profile. Can I share something again? 450 milligrams of CBD daily, children ages between 5 and 21.
Yeah, that's a lot of CBD, but yes,
but
it must be the 21-year-olds.
But you are hearing, though, this is a sanctioned professional study, and I'm seeing things that I didn't see before.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Conclusion. CBD cannabis this is their conclusion of the study. CBD cannabis extracts appear to provide meaningful benefits for children and adolescents with autism, showing moderate improvements in social responsiveness and small yet notable reductions in disruptive behavior and anxiety. They do not seem to significantly increase adverse effects compared to the placebo, suggesting a favorable safety profile. These findings support the potential consideration of CBD cannabis extracts and autism treatment plans. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's awesome. That is so wonderful to hear that. I don't know, again, I also don't know much about autism. Is there a medication that children take? How how?
Yeah, how are the other parents out there suffering?
Right.
Because often it's not the child that's, suffering. Usually it's those who are in the parent position and the siblings, and those are the ones that probably suffer the most. And that would be a great question for them.
Yeah.
I would love to hear the answer to that too.
And aggressive behaviors. I mean, how do you control that? If you could calm the child down and keep them calm, that's just awesome.
Yeah, I love that too. How about a comprehensive review using CBD to treat cognitive impairments? Now, I did have to research. What do they mean by cognitive impairments? Here are cognitive impairments. So, memory loss, executing functions like task planning, decision-making.
Mhm.
There's also issues with language processing, sometimes forgetting a word or being able to structure a sentence. And then finally, difficulty in concentration. Bingo, that's what they mean by this. Okay. So this was done from the Department of Cellular and Molecular Medicine at Herbert Wertheim College of Medicine in Florida. How about we just go right to the results for this? CBD showed improvement in anxiety and cognitive impairment in 9 out of 16 analyzed in this trial. Now, when I thought 9 out of 16, that wasn't that great. I'm like, well, that's a little more than half, but not much. Now, the variables can be justified due to a diversity in the trial designs, speaking things like THC and other abuse drugs making effects, low dose or unknown purities of CBD. So I did want to throw that out there. Their doses were single oral doses of 200 milligrams to 1,500 milligrams or vaporized 13 milligrams of CBD vaporized. Now for you, that would be, okay, how do I understand what 13.75 milligrams of CBD vaporized? That would be if you were vaping and your cartridge said 500 milligrams of CBD.
Right.
That's about the easiest I can make that for you. And sometimes, depending on how your dose draw is, you might have to do 3 of those draws to get to that dosing that they were using. Okay, so and both of these doses were shown to be effective. I'm reading from their statement again, at treating anxiety and cognition with a good safety profile and no drug addiction behaviors. So I love this. And it also says, furthermore, CBD shows potential properties that can be tested in future for Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these symptoms kind of fall under the Alzheimer's disease, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've been saying for many years, well, maybe not many, but quite a few years, that Alzheimer's and CBD should really
come together.
They should come together because they really are. It does connect in the brain.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna shoot the I got 2 more left. I know I'm kind of making sure we're okay with time, but I'm gonna shoot a conclusion at you again from this review, this trial review of a trial. Conclusion: medical cannabis becomes more accessible. It is essential to understand whether medication rich in CBD exerts a beneficial effect on cognitive disorders. Our study concludes that CBD is a promising candidate for treatment neurocognitive disorders. However, more studies are required, we know this one really well, to define CBD as a therapeutic candidate for managing cognitive disorders. So I think they have to continue to do the deep dive that likely will be a result of a lot of these clinical trials, human clinical trials that are currently going on. I know. So exciting.
And medical cannabis is CBD.
It's such a place, to be honest. Even medical cannabis, you can't say everybody knows that. And I'm speaking about professionals because we've caught them. You share your story, that just recently one of your clients brought up.
Oh, yes. Who was it? Some newscast. We're not going to say who.
Channel 15.
Was talking about how bad cannabis is for individuals over 65 for their heart health. And she was very concerned because, and I can't believe, again, she's been our customer for quite some time. And she just thought cannabis was, what he was talking about was CBD. And he was clearly talking about marijuana, mainly not medicinal marijuana, but mainly he was talking about recreational marijuana. And the elderly people are thinking, this is what I think they're thinking. It's like it was before. I mean, I used to smoke pot when I was young. I'm just going to go to the dispensary and I'm get the same. It's not the same. So anyway, they're having heart palpitations and all kinds of issues. So I talked to her and I discussed with her that she is not taking anything like that. And she is completely safe with CBD.
So that story did freak her out. I'm pretty sure most seniors watch that, get freaked out. I read articles all the time where they misreference either whether it's CBD or marijuana, whether it's CBD or THC is probably a better way that they put that. So to your point earlier, if they say medicinal cannabis, they're often speaking about marijuana used for medical terms because they haven't quite got the grasp of CBD being medicinal. That's what all this is heading towards now. Yeah. But anytime they say recreational, cannabis, it's always THC. Now, to you, my earlier conversation with you, I think sometimes professionals are not dialed in and where CBD fits and the word medicinal cannabis. That's, I think, something that's going to have to get solved soon because it's going to mislead people. All right. Thanks for sharing. That was a good spot to share that at. Let's talk about the next one because who here has an upcoming knee surgery? Well, it just so happens that 380 adult patients volunteered for a clinical trial, human trial. And you're going to like this. Investigating the efficacy of CBD and managing post-operative pain and reducing the need for opioids.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy? Oh, I love it.
I think it's great.
All right. CBD before and after can reduce the need for opioid pain medication following a total knee arthroplasty, which is a placement.
Mm-hmm.
So the study involved 380 patients. This was done in Michigan Medicine at the Henry Ford Health Center. Let's see, it was a double-blind, randomized, controlled. Okay, CBD patients will receive either 300 milligrams per day or a placebo 1 week before surgery and 4 weeks after. 300 milligrams per day.
Before surgery.
A whole week before surgery.
Wow.
Yep.
Well,
and
that's
then
interesting because usually you're not allowed to take anything before surgery, right?
I love it too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm going to share with the outcome, but I wanted to share that very specific piece because we all go in for these kind of things, muscles being cut, tendons being. This sounds like something I want to consider now.
Well,
All
you
right.
do remember when I had my hip replaced,
Mm-hmm.
I don't do well with opioids.
Yeah.
I don't, they don't,
Nausea, right?
They make me nauseous,
Yeah.
they make me anxious, all the things. So I used CBD, pretty much the oil and the salve,
Mm-hmm.
for my pain afterwards. And it really, I mean, it did wonders for me. That's
Love
the
it.
story.
Well, let me share the outcome. Research will be looking for, outcomes they're looking for. Researchers will be looking for an opioid consumption, pain intensity, anxiety, inflammation, and sleep quality. That's what they're looking for in this clinical trial. Results are not available as the date of this production. As soon as I get them, I'm going to be sharing this one too because I actually like this one a lot. And I also know that it's going to be well funded because the opioid crisis was pretty big. Okay, so now to speak on our last study to review with you today. The title of this one is CBD as a treatment for cannabis use disorder. Now, and this is a phase 3, so they've already had the first 2 phases. Now, why a cannabis use disorder?
Well, again, because it's recreational now and people are going to be people. I mean, let's just face it. If it feels good, we're going to use it and we're going to keep using it and we're probably going to use it too much.
Well, and that's what I want to share. How do you know you have cannabis use disorder? And by the way, yes, it is running rampant. It's very popular right now. Signs are you're using more than intended. Using more than intended. Second one, failing at quitting attempts. You try to quit, not working. Try to quit again, not working. Again, that's another sign of cannabis use disorder. And then finally, continuing use despite problems at home, socially, or at work. Those are big signs. All right. So now, and I can also tell you this is coming out of Australia. All right. Now, in Australia, their daily oral is going to be 400 milligrams of CBD for 12 weeks. And the other half is going to be given a placebo. Okay. Both groups are also going to receive counseling sessions. Let's see here. Primary outcome, number of cannabis-free days, and urine analysis. All right. Now, why CBD? Well, CBD is non-intoxicating, no withdrawals, and not addictive. It also is anxiolytic, which is anti-anxiety. It's antipsychotic and neuroprotective. It blocks it also, and this is something you spoke to all the time. It blocks THC effects at the CB1 receptor, so it acts as a negative modulator. You've spoken it many times in a show going, if you get too high on THC, use CBD to help calm you down. Remember that. We call that a pro tip. Anyway, what's this mean in the future? Well, if successful, could make CBD the first approved medication for cannabis addiction. It could also open doors for broader cannabis-based addiction treatments and could reshape how we treat behavioral and substance dependencies with cannabis, which is topics we've had over and over and over again.
And honestly, I mean, we've talked about alcohol, opioids, tobacco, now the other side of our very own plant.
Yes, it is in the same family. You know,
So
it's like having a stepchild sometimes that nobody likes. No, but I know that's
he
still
likes it,
maybe, maybe too much.
maybe a little too much,
That's
right?
funny.
Because
Not get you down.
there are people that buy CBD and they're like, this isn't the fun stuff though, is it? And I'm like, well, maybe not as fun as I don't know. I enjoy CBD. I like the way it makes me feel.
Yep.
I don't really need to have the THC. Now I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it when I was young.
Mm.
Of course I did. And even through most of my life, but then for whatever reason, I was able to migrate over to CBD and I really have not had any issues.
Yeah. No, and if you want to hear other things, other conditions THC has an impact on, feel free to go through all our podcasts. I think we have a number of them.
And now it's taking over alcohol. And
Mhm.
now it is on its way to being a big part of that industry.
Well,
Without the hangover and the liver damage and the just the
yeah.
cognitive damage.
Don't give too much away because we're going to have a complete show on that. That is a new rising star right now. Is the alternative to alcohol, and the younger generation is bringing it up, and the older generation is jumping right on board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Better for everything. Better for everything. Your sleep, your liver health, your skin health, your hydration. Everybody sees it. It's a nonstop train. It's not. Yeah. Yeah.
And they do make THC beverages, but again, I've tried those and
Yeah, some people just aren't willing to go that extra mile, you know. And there's a lot of people that go, I only like going there.
yeah,
It's all good though,
Yeah.
because neither one of them is causing the kind of issues maybe alcohol has been tagged. All right. Well, listen, we will keep you posted on these studies, all of them that we spoke to. But we can't ignore the momentum that this is creating. And CBD as an agent is only getting stronger.
yeah. Well, and we said it. We started by saying it in the very beginning that we really want this plant to stick around because we believe in it and
Yeah.
we want it to be
Yeah.
here for our kids and our kids' kids because it is actually a healthy plant. It can help you with many things, and so it's just so wonderful the feeling that I know, and we're over here like, yeah,
Yeah.
we told you so, but
Yeah.
and it's not good to say you told you so, but we told you so. It there's nothing to be afraid of.
I just want to help everybody. Yeah, I'm not sharing that.
I love it. I just love it because everybody's like, oh my God, you take CBD for everything. I'm like, yeah, I really do.
All right. Well, listen, we really appreciate you joining us on this journey. We really are driven to discover a better health, and
Yeah.
we're 100% behind sharing all of our outcomes with you.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we're in our 60s now. We really, and we've been paying attention for quite a while, but we're definitely here to try and get everybody to pay attention, maybe a little bit younger. Don't wait till you're older. You know, everybody can use CBD. It's so that's all we're trying to say.
Yeah. So, hey, till we speak again, good luck on your journey. And again, always remember, we're going on this journey and we're willing to share. So, all for now.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.